All right, my food mood friends, welcome. I'm just stepping outside of my home. I want to do a video on RoundUp and glyphosate. So as you can see, you're going to see right now that I walk to this park.
Welcome! Here is your hostess and coach, Chandra, helping people make food and mood changes doable without missing out. Go ahead, high five that like button, subscribe and share while you're there.
So I literally live on this park. It's very magical, very amazing to live on a park. I've never had a park view and it's very special. And I come over here at least every day, at least once, sometimes more. And so I live on this really, really beautiful park. It's called Chrissy Collin in Reno. And there's this really beautiful little spot. Maybe I'll take you to my beautiful little spot where I go every day and say hello to the river. There's the Turkey River. And one morning, a couple months ago, I was walking here, which is where my little favorite special spot is right there. And I saw a guy who was spraying. And so, you know me, gut health is like a massive, important thing to me. And so I'm curious what he's spraying. And I'll actually take you to the spot where he was actually spraying. And I just kind of kindly, gently asked him, what are you spraying? And it was here where he was spraying. And his energy kind of got a little bit little. And he's like, I'm spraying RoundUp. And I was like, okay. And he says, I'm spraying using the little container, not the big container. And he's not wearing a mask. And he didn't feel amazing about it. And I just also want to let you know that there's a kids park. So just beyond, so if you can see, let's see if I can help you guys see it. There's a kids park right there. So there's the kids park and people are gathering here. And after he sprayed that particular area, he started spraying around all the trees. And I kind of just took it in. And then I told my husband that night, my man, I told him, I said, I saw someone spraying in the park. And he says, oh yeah? And I said, yeah. And he says, well, what were they spraying? And I said, RoundUp. And he said, let's not go to the park for a week. Hello, my friend. How are you? I'm in the Dead Sea, floating in the water. Go ahead and like and share and follow so we can keep in touch. So this has turned into, so we basically avoided the park, especially, we did walk a couple times through the park, but we really avoided as I learned that they call it chemical edges. So, and actually there's a chemical edge around the playground itself, where it's basically they spray so that no grass or weeds grow. And RoundUp is basically glyphosate, and it's not allowed to be used in many, many countries. There's only the US and a couple others that actually allow this chemical to be sprayed. It's a neurotoxin, it disrupts the gut microbiome, there's research saying that it's causing Parkinson's, probably increasing the risk of autism. It's not a nice chemical. And to me, it's we actually live in a pretty rich area. And so I was pretty surprised that in this rich park that they're using these chemicals. And so I saw another parks guy a couple weeks later, and I asked him, what can I do about maybe changing this? And he told me that there are things called pesticide parks and pesticide-free parks. So I said, okay. And I said, well, how can I make this a pesticide-free park? And he said, well, you can talk to Parks and Rec and put a request in. So I'm in this process. I've talked to Parks and Recs. I've put in a service order to request that our park becomes a pesticide-free park. There are 87 parks in Reno, and 17 of them are pesticide-free. And I would guess that most parents and most people that come to this park are not aware that they're being exposed to glyphosate or RoundUp. And for me, it's just, I have this microbiome part of my program where I really teach about the microbiome and how important it is to keep our microbiome resilient and strong, and really ultimately keeping the friendly microbes up and in balance and keep the unfriendly microbes down and not out of control, because that's where we get our imbalances. And our microbes just have so much to do with our brain health, our mood, our digestion, our metabolism, our immune function. Like there's just so much importance of this gut health. And so it's like, especially kids who are like playing and putting things in their mouth and they're all of their systems are still functioning. It's just really wild to me that they're allowing this in our park. So I'm working on making this park a pesticide-free park, and I encourage you to look into and check out, is there RoundUp sprayed in your park, and to maybe do something about it. And one of the ways I really like to think about this is that like health or a lack of health is an accumulation. And so one of the big concepts I teach in my program is like to really limit toxins. And it's not possible to have zero toxins in our life, but it's possible to have less. And so this is one way that I can limit our toxins that are going in our body. And yeah, it matters. You know, it's really easy to say that it doesn't matter and that it's okay. But I think that especially parents who want the best for their kids, and as autism and ADHD is on the rise, I think this is a more important topic than ever to pay attention to, especially where our kids are in our parks. So I'm working on movement in my park. I recommend you make a movement in your park. And you can look up, I'll probably include in the post below this of what really glyphosate does, because I think it's important to realize like what it can affect, to build evidence of like that this is important, this matters. And yeah, I care about my kids' gut health. I care about my gut health. I care about your gut health. I care about the other kids in this park and the other also animals and big humans who are exposed. It's an accumulation, and our lifestyles can either be more toxic or less toxic. And the idea isn't perfect, but the idea is to become aware and to care and to make little shifts wherever we can. I have to say it's a really special experience for me to want to get involved in this community, because I've been traveling and in a lot of ways so transient for so long that it's a really special feeling for me to be like, I want to talk to our ward. I want to talk to the Parks and Rec manager. I want to get involved and make a difference. So this is a really cool personal thing that I'm feeling about a local place that I am. We're putting in roots, we're building community. I'm getting to know the people who make things change, help things change. And yeah, I'm doing a kids gut health, a food and mood, empower your kids to reverse engineer and create a state of regulation and better learning. And I'm doing this presentation for a school next Tuesday. And so, well, actually it depends on when this video is going to be aired. So actually by the time this video comes out, it'll be the previous week. But if you have a kids school that you would like me to do this free talk at, I'm so passionate about helping kids' gut health, because it's really the biggest gift that we can give them for life. And so I am wanting to spread the word in Reno and talk to different schools here. But if you also have a school locally, I would love to talk to your school and all the parents and just educate how we can improve gut health for our kids. My little one, when she was 3 years old, the teacher noticed that because of the food we were sending with her to school every day, she was able to be well regulated till 5 p.m. without a nap. Whereas the kids who were eating processed foods, and bagels in particular was the one story the teacher had brought up, that kid was having a tantrum and falling apart by 10 or 11. And so there's a way that we can feed ourselves, and there's a way we can feed our kids to be more regulated, be able to learn better, feel better. When we feel better, we show up better. You know, all kids want to be good. You know, they just often don't have the tools or the food or the relationship to their emotions where they can show up good. I like to give that word a quotes because, yeah, it's I don't like to think about good or bad, but sometimes it's useful to bring in the point. All of our kids are innately good, and all of our kids want to show up good. And I want to give kids and parents the tools so that they can show up the way they want to show up, which is connected and grounded and regulated and smart and learning. And yeah, so feel free to reach out to me if you want to set that up for your local school. And of course, if you're wanting help with your family gut health, your kids' gut health, food and mood. I have a 6-month coaching program, so please feel free to reach out to me and get that started. So I hope you have a beautiful day. I will see you next week. And pesticide-free parks, let's increase those numbers. Okay, have a beautiful day. Bye.